there. It has been an absolute while since we said anything here on Fandoms Edge Podcast. I'm here with a bit of an update for you, and if there was anything of note, there wouldn't really be an update. So there is something that I do need to tell you, and that is the podcast is actually going to be coming back very, very soon. It's just going to be a little bit different than what you're actually used to, and I'll get to that in a second. I think the last that we mentioned anything was February time 2025. We said we'd go on a hiatus, and that was actually down to Joe with some personal reasons. But since then, he has been doing content creation again, like his live streaming and stuff like that, and the podcast has definitely been a discussion that we've had. The podcast between me and Joe has been a 50-50. No one is above anybody else. No one is a host and someone else is a co-host. It's equal. It was something that we wanted to do. You know, talk about all our favorite different fandoms. However, the big significant thing that's going to change is it's just going to be me and there isn't going to be a Joe. Joe hasn't necessarily left the podcast in its entirety. He is welcome back anytime he wants to. But I still want to do it, and we've discussed it, and he says, yeah, if you want to continue it, you can do so on your own. And so that's what's going to happen. Just me rambling about all the different fandoms that you're used to. That format has not changed at all. Your hosts have, unfortunately. I would love to see Joe still be here and do it with me, because the one thing I like doing is bouncing conversations off somebody else. It is a good thing. It's one of the things I was a little bit hesitant on when I wanted to come back in a solo sort of way and a solo format. Now, some of you will be disappointed by this news, and I get it, but I still want to continue, because one of the things that I love doing is, as anybody will tell you if you know me, you will know I love sharing particularly gaming news and anything else that I'm maybe excited for, or something that's maybe a bit controversial, or just some news in whatever space it is. I just love mentioning it to somebody, and the podcast was that way of doing that and sort of getting away. So the absence of Joe is going to be the significant thing if you're a returning viewer or listener. The other change I wanted to make was the schedule. I'm actually planning to do this on a weekly thing as a trial to start with, because first of all, I'm not 100% sure how this is going to be in terms of the vibe, particularly when recording it, when I'm switching it to just solo. So I want to give it a go, but I want to give it a go at either a weekly or bi-weekly sort of schedule. And the reason for this is, if you've listened to the podcast previously, you will know, particularly early on, we've tried to cram in so much stuff and it extended the podcast way longer than we comfortably wanted to. And that's something I wanted to sort of address, because there seems to be a lot that happens in 1 month and you just can't talk about it. And I want to talk about it, you know? So I think going forward, a duration of the podcast is going to be less, but you're going to see more episodes as you go on. So the ideal schedule is every week on a Sunday, but that may subject to change. Obviously, I will let people know within the podcast episodes if I am changing that, if I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable, if I'm feeling a bit burnt out from it, because obviously I do other content creation outside of podcast. I do YouTube, I do streaming. So it all coincides of how I'm feeling with that. But that is basically your Fandoms Edge podcast update. And when the first episode is coming out, the sort of reboot, is that the correct word? I don't know. It sort of is. It's a sort of a soft reboot, isn't it? Because we haven't done it in such a while. So that's how it's going to work, and I don't know when. But I will let you know on socials, on the Instagram, and on the posts bit on YouTube when the first episode is going to be coming out. And that is your explanation of exactly what's been going on. But don't worry, it's coming back just a little bit different. So if you want to suggest anything, any topics you want to suggest for me to talk about, by all means, go ahead. And hopefully, we'll be seeing you very soon on the Fandoms Edge.